I'm a big fan of Shane Douglas. I've had Shane on quite a number of times on my other channel, and I always considered him one of the high points of the TNA early years. I always thought, he was a great interview, had a great voice. I think he was managing like the Naturals or something like that. I always thought, well, Shane looks like he could beat you up more than the Naturals could,
Yeah.
but I think that was the only knock on him as being a manager, is he looked too threatening. But that being said, stories of dealing with Shane at this point in his life. I know he was struggling with OxyContin addiction at this time. I don't know how much people knew in the back at that time, but I suppose day-to-day dealing with Shane at this point.
Well, that was his biggest downfall, was his OxyContin use, because you'd talk to him sometimes in the morning at the production meeting, and about 1:00, he'd be asleep. Where's Shane? We go get him. And I said, did you get him? Yeah, I told him to come over here. I'd go back over there, and he'd be peacefully sleeping. And it would take him a while to come around. And I can put up with that if I don't need him right then. I'll give him time because I understand it. But that's the wrong time to do it. I think the wrong person saw him in that condition. And I think is and he needed help. He did. And I think that he was sent home. He wasn't fired. He was just sent home. And I like Shane. I thought he was a great announcer. And we put him with the Naturals thinking that he would be the catalyst to kind of get those kids over. And we told the kids, listen, they had really long hair. I said, guys, we need to do something with the hair. We need to look the part, because they didn't look like they were tough with that long hair. And I like those guys, but they bitched and moaned and cried and went on and on about their hair, and said, guys, you can grow more hair. We got to cut it. And I remember one of them, I think Andy, he went to get his hair cut and came back, and he had this much cut off. You couldn't tell anything had been done to it. I says, you didn't cut your hair? Yo, I did too. I did. And it became such a pain in the butt. Listen, if cutting your hair means more than making money and looking the part, I don't know if you know. Actors cut their hair on roles, but they didn't want to cut their hair. One of them said, what would my girlfriend say? I said, I don't know. You're going to have to figure that out. She's your girlfriend. And I don't know. It became a sticking point between us. And finally, I think we just dropped the whole thing. It was, what were their names?
Andy Douglas and Chase Stevens.
Naturals?
The Naturals.
Yeah. Well, it became such a sticking point, we finally just let them both slide off. Because they wouldn't get off of it. Jeff talked to him. I think Vince talked to him. We all talked to him. But no, they didn't want to cut their hair. Okay.
Could have lost it in a loser gets their head shaved match. At least drawn some money with it.
They didn't want to lose their hair.
No, I know that, but did you ever? Because I know you were saying go home, cut your hair. Did you ever suggest, hey, we could do this on pay-per-view, give you a payoff kind of thing for it?
Well, we had a person there who works on hair, a barber or a hairstylist, and that's when they got that much cut off. I couldn't believe. I thought he was kidding me. He said, "I cut my hair. How's it look?" I said, how much did you cut? He said, quite a bit. I said, well, and I reported back, I don't think this is going to be a good idea, guys.
I want to bring up one more thing with Shane. Now, I'm not talking out of school here. Shane's told me, he's been very public with the story, is that he eventually gets clean off his own back. He goes to a motel room in the middle of nowhere, locks himself in, and basically goes through withdrawal on his own. And he comes back to the company in, now this is off the top of my head, maybe like late 2006 or somewhere around that period, around the Christmas period, and he does a story for the website, TNA website, where he talks about how he gets clean and everything. And TNA spin it into, you know, a feel-good story kind of thing. And then they fire him right around Christmas time. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that. I don't even remember him coming back, tell you the truth.
It was a very brief amount of time. So they basically got him back for basically the feel-good story factor. Then as soon as he got the feel-good story factor, they let him go.
I can go on the record truthfully saying I don't remember when he came back, and truthfully say that I didn't have anything to do with firing him. I didn't fire anybody anyway. I never fired anybody. I don't like to fire people unless I don't like them and they try to kill me. I'll fire them that way. They got a gun looking for me in the back. I said, I don't think he needs to be here. But I don't remember that. But Shane, to me, was, I think he had a good future ahead of him. If you consider TNA any way of a future. But like I said, he's a great announcer, and he was actually a pretty good booker. Mm-hmm. And he knew what to do, and he could have been a positive sign for those naturals.
Did he actually do booking in TNA, even like informally?
Maybe he did. He did some in ECW. I know. Mm-hmm. He did some there. He was pretty good at that.